Oh, Burnout Paradise. The game that still has the community foaming at its mouth for its completely different take on the Burnout series. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about how Burnout Paradise was mishandled. From updates that negatively altered the experience, to complete incompetence from EA and the developers, Burnout Paradise is a botched experience on each and every platform. Because I don't have a capture card, I cannot record the 1.0 build of Paradise. So instead, I'll be using other people's footage and using the reversion mod. This is a mod for the original PC release that brings back some of the elements of the 1.0 version. With that out of the way, let's begin. It's easy to say that an alpha or beta version of a game is inherently better just because something is different or changed, though some aspects of the alpha and beta stages of Paradise were better than the 1.0 release we got. Firstly, the removal of big traffic vehicles, including tow trucks, RVs, and semis. It would have been nice to have more variety in the traffic, as highways are usually pretty empty with buses and utility trucks being the only big vehicles that spawn. Secondly, the removal of impact time and aftertouch. It seems weird to remove one of the defining features of the series, but nonetheless, it ended up on the cutting room floor. Lastly, some songs like Lifetime, Haircuts and T-shirts, Early Greyhound, SOS, and Wired All Wrong, Los Angeles didn't make their way into the final release. Good music always seems to get cut. As Burnout Paradise received more and more updates, the game strayed further away from what made the 1.0 version good. The UI art style was different, sporting a different font and a red and black design rather than the blue and white design we got later on. I think the original design suited the game better, but this comes down to personal opinion. They also removed the ability to unlock the sponsored vehicles. This means the only way to get these vehicles is to mod them in or downgrade your game back to the 1.0 version on consoles. When a vehicle's boost is almost depleted, the flames shooting out of the exhaust would get smaller, with a smoke emitting as well. For some reason, this smoke was removed. Sure, it's a small detail, but I don't see a reason why it was removed. If you crashed in a stunt run, it would display your points and combos being added up for that particular run. For some reason, they removed this, and it now only displays the combo over when crashing. Again, why was this removed exactly? It really didn't need to be. We also saw the removal of filters. I know that many aren't a fan of filters, including myself, but I thought these filters were pretty cool, and added a bit more depth to the game. The first filter was a black and white filter used at the start of some events and in the pause screen. The other filter was used in the regular gameplay, giving Paradise City a duller, less colorful look. Though, it was nice in road rage and marked man, as the more damaged you got, the more the filter would wash out the colors, giving you a good idea of what your health is. They also used this filter for when you crashed, really making those red colors pop more. Also, a lot of sound effects were removed or changed. Going under some overpasses no longer plays a whooshing sound. Some crash sound effects were altered or removed, leading to many becoming more toned down. Also, a lot of vehicle sounds were toned down as well in later updates. The crash physics were changed. In 1.0, vehicles had more weight and tended to flip more compared to 1.6. In 1.6, vehicles feel much lighter after crashing but don't flip as much. It's hard to say which I prefer, and many are still split on which is inherently better. These next changes seem like they were made to make the game more accessible. I have a feeling EA thought some of the elements of the game were too hard for casual audiences, and made Criterion dumb them down to make the game more appealing. Stunt runs were made much easier. Before, they used to be very punishing, and there was a lot of pressure to keep the combo going as the timer was very short. So they decided to make the combo timer longer, and that it would reduce in time when you got a bigger and bigger combo. The collectibles were also made easier to spot. Things like gates, stunt jumps, and billboards were changed with different colors, glow effects, etc. Now, it's definitely not the worst change for accessibility, but it's not like they were too hard to spot anyways, so the change seems kinda redundant. I mean, just look at the billboards. They looked great, and then they were transformed into this generic, boring red billboard. The race AI was dumbed down considerably. In 1.0, they were much harder, and you could lose a race if you weren't careful. However, in 1.6, they were dumbed down to make it even easier to win races. This means that races really aren't fun anymore, not only because of that, but because they also changed the top speeds of every vehicle. All the vehicles' top speeds were downgraded. I can't tell you how great it feels to drive these same vehicles in the 1.0 version. They feel so much better with their higher top speeds. I don't understand why Criterion or EA thought they had to make this change. There was plenty of slower cars to choose from if people weren't comfortable with the higher speeds. Now, couple this with the dumbing down in the AI means that races, the main part of Burnout, was gone, ruined. Thankfully, it seems that Road Rage and Markman were not altered by this, and they still have that very aggressive AI. I'm all for making a game more accessible to others, but this is the wrong way to do it. Burnout Paradise could have been the first Burnout to introduce a easy, medium, or hard mode, yet instead they dumbed down the experience for everyone. Since the PC version was not released alongside the console versions, the PC 1.0 version was the same as the 1.6 version on consoles. What's weird is that they planned a PC version from the beginning.
And what we're going to do is do away with lobbies. You know, there's a lot of PC paradigms that dominate gaming, and we're on the PlayStation and the Xbox. It's not the PC yet.
They could have definitely released it alongside the console versions and would have allowed PC users to experience a true 1.0 build. But anyways, one of the main issues with this port was the PC-only glitches. One notable glitch was the unpaintable bike glitch. In the bike's career, you could win upgraded versions of the two bikes in this mode. These bikes in the PC version can't be repainted because they are damaged. Vehicles in Paradise have to be repaired in order to paint them, but since bikes can't be repaired, it's impossible to change the paint schemes. On consoles, the bikes are not damaged, so this glitch doesn't happen. Plus, the PC version was abandoned after the 1.7 update on consoles. It never received the fixes, or DLC like Cops and Robbers and Big Surf Island, from the 1.8 and 1.9 updates. Why was the PC version abandoned? We have no idea. Alex Ward claims that it was because there was too many pirated copies of the game, but I have a feeling it's not because of that. 1.7 to 1.9 didn't see any major changes other than the DLC additions, though one change to note is that the Road Rage takedown cap of 40 was lowered to 20, which leads to road rages that just don't last as long. Burnout Paradise's remaster was an exciting announcement for everyone. It would be the definitive version. However, what we got was a more buggy and sloppy version compared to the 1.9 builds on older gen consoles. Instead of having Criterion make the remaster, they instead go for Stellar Entertainment, with some of the Criterion crew helping out with the development. The first mistake was using the PC version of Paradise as the base of the remaster. How do we know this? Well, those PC-only glitches, like the bike damage glitch, made its way into the remaster. Not only did they use a worse version of Paradise, but they had to port over the 1.8 and 1.9 updates and DLC before then porting them to the new gen consoles. Why not just use the Xbox 360 version as the basis of the port? Impact time sound effects when you crashed was also removed in the remaster. You know, these sounds. Not only this, but the porting of the remaining DLC was also botched. The Toy Jansen 88 Special is heavier than on the 1.9 version, the Toy Nighthawk GT is missing sound effects when boosting, and the Olympus Governor is missing the camo livery. Some of these issues were fixed in the PC release of the remaster, yet never fixed on consoles. The bike damage glitch is fixed, and the Olympus Governor now has the right livery. Oh, and one other thing, EA claimed that the soundtrack was completely unchanged, yet they actually removed 2 songs. Never Heard of It, Finger on the Trigger, and Showing Off to Thieves. Everyone has their secrets. More than a year after the release of the remaster, EA decided to pull the plug on the servers for the original game. This means that you can't use the Olympus or Raijin Turbo because they were online only. EA also decided to delist all the DLC for the original versions of Paradise. So let's say you wanted to get the DLC for your Xbox or PS3 copy, well, you can't. Though any DLC that you purchased prior to the server shutdown is still usable. But oh boy, it gets worse for the original PC version. Physical copies no longer start up as the online license check no longer works, meaning you need a crack to play the game. Also, the DLC that was available for the PC version no longer works as that same online license system also applied to the DLC. Burnout Paradise is still a great game. Don't let this negative video stop you from enjoying it. But I can't help to think that Burnout Paradise could have been better than what we ended up with. Not only did the changes dull down the experience, but the sheer incompetence of the remaster, the botched original PC version, the server shutdown, and the delisting of all the DLC from the original console versions makes Burnout Paradise a botched experience on any platform. Thanks for watching the video, and have a nice day.